What's going on, world? DS1 Ross. I'm back. Peace to the family. How everybody doing? I'm back. Just with a little quick show. Hopefully it'll be quick. But I wanted to touch on this subject because it's a subject that I think is being overshadowed. I think is not being expressed enough. See, there's a lot of things going on as far as our relationships as a people. It's a lot of stuff going on, family. We always wondering why we can't get it together. You know what I'm saying? We always talking about why we can't get it together as a people. And I think everybody likes to point to all of the outside things that keep us trapped. But I don't think people really stop and think. Us, I'm talking about my people, because that's the only people I can address. I can't address nobody, other than me and my people. But I think the problem is that we don't understand that just like there's an outer war that we see, the outer war that's projected to us is the result of an inner war. You see? And this is why we have a lot of infighting. And I think we don't stop and think how much we play a part in our own demise, man. See, with all the information we got, all of the books that our ancestors left us, all of the artifacts, we're not using none of those things to propel us. We're not. And I think that it's a result of something that's unseen. I believe that. The reason why we can't get it together because it's a result of something that's unseen, something that people don't like to talk about. And as long as we stay a servant to this inner issue, we're going to continue to perpetuate what we've been doing, man. In circles. We're going to stay in that sunken place. And what I like to call this disenfranchisement between us, it's a result of the power of the ego. And this is why I named this live stream this the power of the ego. Because we don't stop and think how powerful our egos can be. And I'm not talking about, you know, the ego that people like to always talk about. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the programming that is used to control us. that part of your mind that when you want to change and do something right, something always propels you to go the other way. Something always tells you, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. That's your ego. That's your ego, y'all. And the ego is a very, 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 very big hater to us because the ego is controlling a lot of our conversations. The ego is controlling a lot of our, because the ego is keeping us having the same conversations. See, everybody like to say, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking. No, we cannot stop talking. We need to stop talking about the same shit. Because if you're going to keep talking about the same shit, that shows that your mind is on the same shit. And that shows that you're compromised. That shows that you're a pessimist. That shows that you have a limited scope of knowledge, a limited scope of understanding. Because you always want to go back to the same talking points to prove a point. But that point leads you to what? It leads back to your ego. It leads back to you wanting to be right in a conversation. It leads back to you wanting to look superior to a fellow person. See, those are all aspects of your ego because you don't want to let go. See, Black people, in order for us to truly unify, we have to let our egos go. We have to let go of trying to be in control of a conversation. We have to let go of trying to be in control of our women, trying to be in control of our men, and how each another think and how we relate to one another. We have to let go, family. We have to, because if we never let go, we will never be able to hold hands. We can never receive nothing with a closed fist. You see? See, I let my ego go a long time ago. You see? And this is why I can accept information from anybody if I know it's coming from a genuine place. You see? See, the problem nowadays with us is we don't keep it real with each other. And see, we don't keep it real with each other because we dealing with each other from a place of ego. It's not sincere. See, we have to understand that. We have to understand why we so fake to each other, why we use each other. We have to let that shit go, family. But in order for us to let it go, we have to understand the source of it. And the source of it is your egotistical mind. You see? You thinking you better than somebody. You thinking you smarter than somebody. So since you think you have a college degree, you think you can't accept information from someone who doesn't. And then in turn, you and that person can never really relate. See, we have to understand that that's egotistical. And we cannot unite with our egos. Because at some point or another, our egos will clash. You see? And everyone has an ego. But it's all about when you let that ego represent you in what situation. You see, a lot of people try to suppress their egos because they want to unify. And see, in order to unify, that's what you must do. You must get out your own head, get out your own way. Stop thinking you the shit because somebody said you smart. See, we get caught up in that. We get caught up in the hype. We get caught up in the views. We get caught up in the subscribers. And this is why we can't unite. Because when you get caught up in your ego, now you can't be genuine to a person. Now the love is fake. Now the support is not real. It's not genuine. This is what we got to understand, family. You see? And this is how you start to see shit go on around you that's not right. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out of this because we letting fake shit control us. But we always talking about we want liberation and freedom. You cannot have liberation and freedom without sincerity because you will never be free acting fake because you still caught up in yourself. You caught up on yourself. You feeling yourself too much, man. And we have to pay attention to this because the ego causes division. That's why I put in the description the subconscious hater, because that subconscious hater, also known as the ego, drives you to say, fuck the next person. It drives you to say, I don't care if he eat, long as I eat. You see? Peace to everybody in the chat. Yo, JT, I emailed you the link, bro. Check your email. I'm gonna put the link in the chat real quick in case anybody want to get on and touch on this, but this is a topic we need to touch on, family. This shit is not a joke. The ego is dangerous, man. It's dangerous, man. The ego is very, very dangerous. And that's what's out front of us. That's what's leading us. We're not leading the movement anymore. The ego is leading the movement. You know what I'm saying? And see, to me, ego is an acronym for ease God out. We like to say we're the gods. We're the gods. But the ego kills that God within. And it makes you start operating on the opposite side. See, God and the devil to me are nothing but polar opposites. Different, different aspects of energy. I don't characterize them, you know? I mean, pardon me, I don't personify them. I don't give them a character or give them a name. It's energy. And see, the ego is that negative force. that drives you and propels you to do bullshit, man. See? People make a choice to do bullshit. And that's because they're driven through their egos. Jealousy, them 7 deadly sins that people like to talk about, those are all aspects of your ego. Those are projections of your ego. Jealousy, that's an egotistical thing. Envy, greed, lust. See, those are all aspects of the ego. So we got to understand that this is what's keeping us disconnected. The ego in a person. I'm gonna throw the link up in here real quick, family. Y'all click on and y'all chime in, man. Shout out to everybody. JT, what's good, bro? You want to chime in real quick?
Hey, peace. Yo,
Peace,
peace to
bro.
everybody. Peace to the chat room. All I can say for right now is gotta get smart. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff's really happening. We gotta strategize. We gotta mobilize. I know what I learned when I was coming up and everything. That it's good. That's why I like your hangouts because you're giving us different things that we can strategize. And I think that what's lacking on some of these hangouts that I can say Israel because he's the same. He about the same everybody like that as you is. That you gotta have options. If one don't work, oh that's all. Let's go to the next one. You gotta save our babies. You know what I mean? As brothers, we gotta mobilize. That's all I can say for now, brother.
But let me ask you something though, bro. Do you think,
okay.
What do you think is driving us to have these same conversations? Because I'm starting to notice a lot of redundancy, but people
Mm-hmm.
are always saying we need to stop talking. We need to stop talking and start doing. But the conversation, we having the same conversation, but then wonder why the talking won't stop. And then
Because
wonder why nothing is being built. So what do
mhm.
you think is driving us to have these same conversations, bro?
I think what it is that I think the wrong people is built. I feel like there's an argument. There are certain wrong people that is starting this conversation. I think there are some people that they talk. You know a certain way how you talk to people. There's a certain way how you deal with people. We don't know how to deal with people. You know what I mean? You got certain people that they're acting. I'm gonna tell you, they're actually the ones who's doing the work, but they're not being mentioned. There are some that have changed their lives, but we don't talk about it. We always, to me, we hearing the same people, and it's drying us up mentally, emotionally, even physically. I could tell you it in the past. I'm tired to see the same person. I'm tired to hear the same people, but at the same time, where's your rhetoric at? Are you encouraging people? Are you calling out people off the line and say, all right, brother, we doing this. I can give you some pointers and stuff, how you do it in your city. And that's why these conversations is happening. There's some people say, I'm tired of hearing it and everything. So what you need to do, the same ones you hearing it, one day embrace other options of other people instead of just whatever, I'm not saying you, whatever they say, it works. No. That's what we have in these conversations because it keep on happening. And I don't have no problem to keep on talking about it, you know, as long as it's the solutions and stuff. If this keep on happening in our community, you have to bring it up. You can't sweep it under the rug. Come on. So when these conversations happening, it's got to be more of us have to bring something to the table. And the ones, like I said, the ones who's doing it, we got to talk to them. You know, like I said, like I keep on saying this, and I hope one day I'll stop saying this. Stop being scholars and be liberationists. You know what I mean? And I think that we got to let it transform. We got to let it transform of each other, man. You know, so until we do that, until we understand each other, until we include others, this conversation is gonna keep on happening, bro.
That was big, bro. That was big when you said we need to stop trying to be scholars and be liberators. That was big because you know, being focusing on being a scholar and trying to be the best theologist and the best historian, you know, that makes people stay stuck on a certain level of thinking. And what happens is when they have conversations with other people, in order for them to feel comfortable with having that conversation, where they feel like they're being productive or actually bringing something to the conversation, they have to revert back to those same talking points. They have to revert back to philosophies and you know, like we have to. I feel like we have to stop doing that. If you don't have nothing to offer to that bill, then just listen. Stop trying to revert back to what you know to look superior, because that's what it is, and that's where I think the ego steps in at. The ego steps in when you don't have any control anymore. When you feel like you don't have any control, that's when the ego steps in and takes control. Okay, you don't know what to do? I got you. Say this, say that, talk about this, talk about that. And this is why I think a conversation always goes left. And it's not helping us no more. You know, a lot of topics be great, but then you always get a person to come in and revert the conversation back to some low-level bullshit. And that's because of the ego, bro. That's because, like you said, people are focused on being scholars. And see, when a person in their mind believes that they smart and intelligent, they think that they're superior. So what they like to do is, when they're in a conversation and they don't have nothing to offer and they don't feel superior no more, they revert back to what makes them feel superior. So they'll go and change the whole empowered conversation and go back to some religious shit. And start trying to prove their point on who know religion more and who read the most books. And that shit stagnates us as a people, because when we sitting here trying to build, trying to get out of the matrix, but thought patterns of your mind, whenever we try to get out of that, a motherfucker always come back and bring us back into it with they bullshit talking points. And this is why I did this topic, bro, because a lot of the conversations are starting to get boring. You know, and when my mind get bored, it's shut down. You know, and I think we have to stop that, because the youth, they mind shut down even faster. If it don't have nothing to do with their right then and now, they don't want to hear that shit, period. So this is why we really gotta we really have to be more direct and more progressive with our conversations, bro. What you want to say though?
No, and then I go more on your point because I know for me lately, I think I feel you notice this in other people is I don't say hardly say nothing because I'm tired of hearing the same people. I'm not saying you because you wanted of you. I think you and Israel and other few ones that I could say it had different people talking points. You know what I mean? But the rest of the hangout, I keep hearing the same fucking people. It's like assembly line. Okay, I'm here. It's like I already know what they saying. Okay, it's like 8:30. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with the do. Okay, let me go eat my food. Let me parlay because I know 9 o'clock. Some person gonna come in. I'm right. Boom, 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 boom. 40 minutes. Okay, then they're gonna be all that argument. Okay, let me parlay, not saying nothing. Okay, then the next person. Come on, you gotta switch it up. If you want our family to grow, you have people. Some of us open up to other ideas. You don't know what the next person has. You never know. I thought it's all about building. That's what we gotta learn. See, people, they talk about liberation, but you ain't all about that. Part of being liberated is all about manifesting. It's all about opening yourself to other ideas. It's all about opening it up to all the melanin people so we can all be on the same accord. That's part of the process. We don't want to be in the process. We want to be in a certain box and have certain people listen to certain points, and then they make what they saying is the truth. Nah, I ain't with that. If we're going to mobilize other people, man, we need body counts. We need ideas. We need fresh ideas. Don't be afraid to listen to that shit. I'm not afraid. I learned from you. I learned from Boss. I learned from Truth Be Honest. I learned from anybody because I ain't scared. Whatever's going to help me to push on with our people, well, it is what it is. Even if it's disagree, what it is. But a lot of us, sad thing about it, we want to smell our own shit. But they fail to realize that shit's stinking when you do it.
Exactly, bro.
And that's the
Exactly.
problem. When we smell somebody else shit, it's like this. When you shit, when your person, you stink. You need to clean your shit up. When you're a baby, your parents clean that shit up. But see, when we get around certain scholars, they don't do that shit. Because it's like a certain notch to them. Oh, look at me. Oh, look at me. I'm
Right, bro.
bringing this. Nah, it's not like that because you alienate other people.
Exactly. They start making liberation and freedom all about them. But they say
Yes.
but they say they for their people about you and your mind.
Mhm.
And but see, I think a lot of people don't understand that their ego is controlling that. They don't
Mhm.
understand that it's their it's their flawed it's their flawed perception of things on why they're doing that.
Mhm.
You know, everybody like to bang on what people represent. But for what?
Mhm.
For what? What is the sense of banging on what people represent when at the end of the day that shit don't represent you? And
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, it does, because if we're gonna use the talking point that we created everything and we was the originators of everything, then why can't I uphold or respect your ideology? Because
Mhm.
obviously it came from us. So if
Mhm.
you representing that, why can't I respect that? Why
Mhm.
I can't uphold that? Why I can't support that? Because it comes
Mhm.
from me. Because we the same people.
Mhm.
So We like to bang on religion all day, but we created religion.
Mm-hmm.
So one minute we created everything in the universe and in the world, and then the next minute the white man created religion.
Yep.
I mean, we can't have it both ways, man. We
No.
got to deal with things. We got to deal with things on a practical level. We can't let our egos tell us, oh, I'm gonna make it this way because this is how I want it to be, because that's what people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? We can't say that the originators or the original inhabitants of the earth was black and then say the Bible is a white man's book.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense. But you say the Bible is a white man's book, but then you say the Quran is a black man's book. Then you represent Elijah Muhammad. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Farrakhan uses the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So if he using a white man's book, then how did that book help liberate all the Muslim brothers that's part of the nation?
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of these people who get up here and talk, they were once part of the Nation of Islam. They were once part of the 5% nation.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually makes no sense. And that just shows that they dealing with ego. Because when you put the information right in their face, they still deny it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say we built everything, but then say the white man made the Bible. That makes no sense. 1 + 1 is not 3.
Yeah. And go more your point though, and that's an excellent question, because you contradict. I'm saying the pure people, when you said that, you contradiction. So you know how much contradiction that I've been hearing lately on certain hangouts. They talking about we all about black, but you preaching about. It's like this. Take a whatever it is, take a stand. Stand firm in it. If you flippy flopper, I'm not gonna believe you.
Exactly.
Take a stand. Why are you taking that stand? And then if you explain the stand constructively, I get it. We can go from it. But if you flippy flopper, like a lot of these people out here, I'm not gonna respect you. How I could be, my thing I always say of any hangout, what contribution that I could bring to help build our people. Because it ain't all about JT Blackness. It's all about us. Because I understood the crisis that we in globally. Yeah, we could blame the white man and the white woman all you want. Rightfully so. But there are still the same people, still bringing up the same conversation. But it's like in the boardroom. You're going to bring certain people in the boardroom because you're trying to make things happen. But in the long run, when you run a company, the company end up going down because you don't want to hear other viewpoints. You don't want to hear other analogies that people could bring to the table. And exactly. I'm tired, for me personally, I'm tired of it. It really doesn't make no sense. And then at the same time, our women fall right into that, and some of them, and even brothers, sometimes they don't make a difference. They just want to follow along. But see, what we do, everything is constructed for in order. We want to go here. It's always in order. And they don't want to follow that order, because follow that order, that means that's going to tap in what you're really all about. You know what I mean? And exactly. we don't want to deal with that. Back at you, my brother.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Nobody, and see, that's what we have to do as a people. We have to want to We have to see, and this is why, you know, I created that live stream, Black Crackers, because we have to kill the oppressor in our minds before we could talk about doing anything for ourselves, you know, in society. We have to stop evaluating ourselves from other people's perspectives. Like, for instance, these young people out here today, they're caught up in materialism. And it's not even just the youth, it's us too. And I'm not saying us that's on the live or that's in the chat room. I'm saying us as a people. We are materialistic. That's not our nature. Our ancestors were not materialistic. They used material. But we've become materialistic and caught up in materialism because material expresses your ego. It expresses the fake part of you. You see? Scholarly shit that people like to talk, that represents the ego, the egotistical side of your mind. You thinking you're high and mighty because of what you think you know to be right. Because you went and gathered up some facts. So now you stand tall over people. When there's some things in life we may never know. Because that's just life. You're not gonna never know everything. But the ego will tell you, shit, if I won't know everything, I could get close. And that's what you got people out here perpetuating. You know, I wrote 70 books, but you wrote 70 books, but your behavior don't exhibit your intelligence.
Nope.
So what that shows is that you are controlled by your ego, the fake person, the representative. See, that's who the representative is, your ego. You know how when you go on a first date, most people come there with their representative. It's all about, oh, I work here and I graduated from here and I live over here. None of that shit got to do with who you are at the core of you. And see, we not dealing with black people that's speaking from their core. We not dealing with black people speaking from their heart. Speaking from real experiences and pain and tragedy. Because see, from that is what help you grow. Like Jay-Z said, a rose grew from the concrete. You know, we like to say we from the hood. But how we gonna allow roses to come from the hood? Because it can. You know, we like to talk about alchemy. But are we doing the alchemy on ourselves?
Yep.
Are we seeing that we're being led by something else? Our mindsets is being controlled and directed. And that's the ego, man.
Yeah.
That is the ego. That's why when a person, you could be watching somebody having a conversation, as soon as there's a disagreement or somebody, you know, do something out of the ordinary, it results back to emotion. Now people threatening each other. Now people calling each other out their name, threatening people, mothers, all types of shit. That's ego. Because now your ego is not going to let you look like you lost. This is why I say we have to kill competition. We have to kill that. Because those are all aspects of the ego. Because in competition, there's a winner and a loser. And that feeds the ego. I won. I'm the winner. I'm the best. that feeds the ego. And then the one who lost is feeling like, I'm a loser, I'm not shit, I lost again, I never gonna win. That's an egotistical concept.
Yeah.
So this is why we have to stop relating with each other from that space, because this is why we cannot unify. Because you're gonna have somebody in the group that think that, oh, why they listening to him? Oh, why the women following him? I look better than him. I got more money than him. Why she with him? You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
You might want to mute your mic, bro. But that's the problem, man. We have to stop evaluating each other from those aspects, man. Like you said, everybody has something to contribute. We have to stop. We have to stop, you know, demeaning who we are and demeaning each other's efforts. We have to stop that shit, because what we don't understand is that there's a lot of people who's searching for a way out. There's a lot of people seeking freedom right now. Black people want to feel free. Fuck just having money and having resources to be able to go out and purchase shit in this corporate world. Fuck that. You got people who want to be able to go to sleep at night. It's people with millions of dollars who don't sleep because they can't, because the demons in their mind. This is why I say money's not going to liberate us.
No.
Mental health will.
Will.
We have to get our minds back, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's an excellent point that you bring up, because that's the problem. Because see, when you have a person, and I noticed that on the Hangout, the people that's on the chat, I want you to understand what JT Blackson is saying. When you have certain people that instead of talking about liberation, our people, I'm talking about standing up the white supremacy. I'm talking about acquiring knowledge and wisdom. That's the ones that you know sincere, that willing to give it. But I ain't talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that always get stick their neck, stick their chest out. I'm talking about the black man and the black woman. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I want you to count how many times how they say it. And I can tell you, they don't have no clue how to liberate the ones that they don't know. See, you can liberate people around you because they already know you. No, let me change that. They think they know you, but they don't. And explain to me, where's the building at? Where's the encouragement at? Where's the building at? Where's the camaraderie of us as melanin people at? Where's it at? So what we need to do, we got to ask ourselves that, am I willing to sacrifice myself to liberate others that we don't know, that have the same color as me, and possible have the same mindset as I do? And I feel that's the question that we need to ask ourselves. That why these conversations be happening all the time? Because as some scholars, it falls on deaf ears to them. What can I bring? When you say I'm gonna do the hangout, I ask myself again, JT, what could you bring to the table? How you can offer yourself to liberate our people? To understand that when the next person don't know you, that you're on the same alignment on them. That's what it's all about. To me, giving yourself. Don't not look for credit, but for the betterment of our melanin people on this earth. Because one way or the other, the way how things is, we better check ourselves. Because a race war could break out any time. We ain't gonna talk about scholars want to step up. We gotta get our guns and do whatever we can to defend ourselves. To defend our business, to defend our homes, to defend our land, to defend our existence. So the bottom line is, if you're not in alignment with what I just said, you're going to be lost. Back at you, brother.
Facts, bro. See, because what you're talking about, and you touched on something that's big, and that's one way, or that's one thing that represents true freedom and liberation. That's sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
That was big, bro, because see, the ego is not into sacrificing shit. They into getting what they want. And if I don't get what I want, I'ma act the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So what you see now is, if a conversation is not going the way a person wanted to go, what they'll do is act the fuck up so they can make it go their way. That's ego. That's ego. And we have to start identifying shit like that. This is why, you know, now that I'm 31 years old and I consider myself, you know, just being aware for, I'm gonna say, a good 15 years now. I'm gonna say that what I've learned, you know, what I've learned is that people are not going to ever get out of their egos, because some people are not willing to get out their own way because they're comfortable in that sunken place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with Black people. We're comfortable in our egos. We're comfortable pulling up in a poor neighborhood in a Bentley and thinking you better than everybody who live in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
We're comfortable with that mindset. And actually, not only are we comfortable, the people who don't have it seek that.
Mm-hmm.
We seek to have those things so we can say, hey, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I got, like a kid. You know when a kid get a new toy from the store? He want to walk around and show everybody.
Yeah.
Look at my new car. My mommy bought it. Look, it's mine. You can't touch it. It's mine. See, that's how the ego works. That's how the ego works. That's why you could be in a conversation and you let a person know, listen, you know, right now you being disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I suggest you take it back a few notches, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But him wanting to be right so bad, he disregards the fact that he disrespected you. So there's the ego telling him, fuck disrespect. You gotta be right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how conflict and chaos happens, because of the ego. Because the ego don't give a fuck about nothing but themselves getting what they want.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So the brother didn't hear the fact that he disrespected another brother or sister. All he heard was a disagreement or an opposing side to his argument, and his ego kicked in and he wanted to be right so bad that he disrespected somebody, and somebody that he just called brother or sister.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an inner war going on. There's a war going on outside, and there's a war going on the inside. But who's talking about the inner war? And this is why I say we cannot get rid of certain spiritual texts, such as the Bible, such as the Quran, because those things speak on spiritual things also.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible tells you the war is fought on principalities, on morals and principality, not flesh.
Mm-hmm.
The war is not flesh and blood, but it's on principalities. So that's touching on the ego and how you think and how you perceive things in life,
Mm-hmm.
not what you got. You see? And the oppressor want us to focus on the outer war, bro. They want us to focus on the race war,
Mm-hmm.
because then they can continue the onslaught of our minds. We talking about a race war and all these firearms and all this bullshit. Meanwhile, they're feeding your ass subliminal suggestions every 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as you open your phone, there's an ad. Marketing, promoting, all of that is programming.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's leading us and controlling our egos. See, the oppressor knows this. They know this. They understand all of this. See, the people who really run this world, they don't give a fuck about money. They only make us believe they give a fuck about it to make us care about it, to make us continue to be slaves.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get this money. I gotta get this money. I gotta get this money. The motherfuckers print money every day.
Mm-hmm.
They print money. That shit don't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They print that shit. They printing some right now while we talking.
Mm-hmm.
Billions of dollars. Numbers never stop, family. So how could you ever have enough money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you
And
got
that's
$1 trillion, you can have $1 trillion and one.
mm-hmm.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, let me cut you off. And then go more on your point. And then when you were talking about schools, we talk about corporations, we talk about companies. If you notice, they always help out the ones that already have, but it's not trickling down. So how the hell you helping that somebody looks just like you that already have? It's like in school. They're not going to help out the ones who already have because there's no money in that. So they got to help out the ones. That's when they push you. Because, see, I stopped knowing this when I was like hitting like 11 or 12. They've always pushed the ones. If you notice, they always try to give the ones the award because those are the ones, that's their quotas. And that's what they take from. That's when they get all greedy at. But the ones that really needs it, that suffers. And that's where we are right now.
That's big.
I'm talking about knowledge now.
That's big.
How all this tied in? Because we failed to understand a part of liberation. That's the part of that. You help out the ones that is not being talked about. Liberating people that already have, that's not liberation. You're not liberating the people. What you need to do, you got to force them to understand that you got to help out the ones to bring up from the bottom. So we all can working together. So that's why, again, I meant to say that, my brother. That's why we having these conversations. Because the ones that is not being talked about, they still here. But they got ideas, but they need to be heard at. Then the ones who are in the middle and ones on the top, they already know about people at the top, but that don't mean shit to me because you ain't bringing nothing to the table. What you trying to be? Harry Clark?
Right.
Francis Shaw Weldon? Of others? Nah. There's a certain point you can reach, but the thing about whatever you learn, give to others. That's the voiceless ones. That's the liberation right there. See, that's when you help people. Now, if someone is not taking it, oh well, they got to deal with that. But come on, do that. You know, when you learn stuff, I take very pride in this.
I'll be right back, bro. Keep talking.
All right. Whatever I learn, whatever I don't know, I try to show others, try to tell others what I learned. Now, maybe they get it, maybe they don't. But at the same time, it makes me feel good because they listen. It ain't all about JT Blackness. And yeah, I keep on that repetition all the time. We have to practice that to say it's not all about self. I don't care if that person is homeless or someone he or she probably have a drinking problem or they go through a lot at their house that nobody don't see. Sometimes we gotta see things like that because sometimes when you talk to the person, you never know. You probably spark something that person cares because she didn't have to stop. So, what we need to do, we need to ask ourselves a question. Are we willing to acquire the knowledge and wisdom and to understand that it's not about self, it's about us as a people? Are we going to apply it to share it in the right constructive, vigilant, social, militant way? I forgot to say spiritual. I ain't say no spiritual because I know it's going to go to religion, and I'm not going to deal with that. But are we willing to help out others that the world has turned their back on? Even some of our people's turned our back on. Are we going to see them just a Photoshop or just somebody we just give food to? And after that, hell with them. Or are we going to see them of that their existence just about much as important as you are, me and you are? Because if it's not like that, if you're not willing to pay, if you're not willing to do self-preservation of yourself, self-reliance of yourself, self-trueness of yourself, that people in the past in our family, global family, has set, it doesn't mean nothing if you're not willing to share that knowledge and wisdom to the ones who really needs it.
Yeah, bro.
So that yeah.
That's big because a lot of us A lot of us don't, you know, we like to say, you know, I want to do this for my people. I want to do this for my people. But we have to understand what that actually entails.
Mhm.
You know, to be a servant of your people. We
Mhm.
have to be, we have to serve.
Mhm.
And see, the ego doesn't allow you to serve.
Mhm.
You must serve the ego. That's how
Mhm.
the ego works.
Mhm.
It's not going to submit to you. You must submit to it.
Mhm.
So this is why you may have a person that may feed the homeless, but then you might have a person that may feed the homeless just to be able to get next to him to kill him.
Mhm.
And you hear a lot of people say in words, but intentions speak louder than both. And
Mhm.
that goes back into suppressing the ego. See, when you have good intentions on doing something, that's when whatever you do actually affects the person in a good way.
Mhm.
But if your intentions is to do something to for accolades or for acknowledgement, this is why you see shit crumble.
Mhm.
Because the intent is not genuine. It
Mhm.
it derives from your ego. You just doing some
Mhm.
shit so somebody could say, "Oh, look what he did. Oh, look what he
Mhm.
did for us."
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to become we have to become servants for our people. We got to serve
Mhm.
our people.
Mhm.
And when we talk about black business, we need to create service businesses. We need to serve our people
Mhm.
because the more you serve, the less egotistical you are. Because when you serve, you're humble. You must humble yourself to be a servant.
Mhm.
You must humble yourself in order to serve someone.
Mhm.
And this is what we lost sight of. We lost
Mhm.
sight of serving one another.
Mhm.
This is why in a lot of the major cities, the cookouts and the family reunions turn into shootouts
Mhm.
because we don't give a fuck about serving one another no more.
Mhm.
We don't care about that because the ego is in all time high. Is at an all time high with us, and
Mhm.
that's through social programming, social engineering.
Mhm.
So we look at each other. We look at each other as being disposable.
Mhm.
We have to stop looking at each other as that. Stop looking at each other as a liability.
Mhm.
And all these aspects I'm talking about is business. It's dealing with business. So that ties into money and all that other shit.
Mhm.
But see, the money part comes later. We have to serve one another now.
Mhm.
We don't like to give each other shit for free.
Mhm.
You know, we don't like to hold a door for each other. Simple service shit.
Mhm.
But we wonder why black people don't patronize our businesses. How could black people patronize your business when you might have to fight somebody because they bumped you and wouldn't say excuse me? Because they think they don't gotta say excuse me.
Yeah.
You see? So if this person think they don't have to acknowledge your existence, why
Mhm.
would they come and patronize you?
Mhm.
So we gotta understand how deep the ego goes.
Mhm.
You know, we'll turn our nose up at somebody because we don't like their outfit. You know, basic egotistical bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
why that person gotta wear what you want them to wear?
Mhm.
And this is what creates the conflict.
Yeah, it's true. Because at the end of the day, we gonna learn. We gotta need each other. I give you a case in point. What I took upon, what I'm gonna do right now, the community where I work at, right? Where I live, our community where I live at, right? I noticed that a lot of little kids, a lot of young boys and girls, do not have identification. Excuse me. So what I do, I ask them a question. You see how these cops line up, right? Yeah. Do you have your identification? No, I left home. You need to go back and get that. What's the school ID? That's going to save your life. So wherever I go, I take upon myself that this little thing, it ain't all about me. It's about our kids and even adults. And sometimes I make sure I take my identification with me. Even if I take out the garbage. See, little things like that. It's all about survival. But see, if you don't have the mindset, if we don't have the mindset that we're going to save others that we don't know, that's not part of that's part of liberation. When you save others that you don't know, you're liberating your community, and it starts, and then it triggers, and then it starts. Then the whole little people stop seeing that. Okay, I can do that too. But I took upon myself to understand that I am a servant to our community. I ain't asked to be on the radio. I ain't asked to be on no camera on me. This is what I need to do. This is what I have to do. It's my obligation. And I'm proud to do that. Because I know our ancestors and the elder statesmen in our community in the past had done it for me. Maybe they don't know, but by their example, they showed me. So I have to pity back on them to do the same thing. And my own was in on the alignment of them in the past and our ancestors. You know what I mean? So be it. So I just want to serve whatever I can. JT Black just want to serve. You know what I mean? Subscribe and like to my channel, DH1 channel and everything. And but you know, it's very, very important that we're in a crisis, you know? We alienate a lot of good people in our community, and we got to find a way to get them back. To let them know that their existence does count. And whatever they bring to the table is greatly appreciated. We got to tell them. Because telling the ones that already have, excuse my language, don't mean shit to me. It doesn't mean nothing. You can count up the numbers all you want. You could go to the bank and do whatever they can. Fuck you can. Excuse my language. But if it doesn't trickle down the ones that really needs it, it doesn't mean nothing. Eagle cannot beat white supremacy. You know what I mean? Eagle cannot stand up to white supremacy. Eagle ain't gonna help you to help rebuild your family. Eagle ain't gonna help you to help build up these hangouts of the conscious community that we in. Eagle gonna destroy those things. And then what you gonna have for yourself? Nothing. What your substance? Nothing. What your voice? Nothing. What's about your character? Nothing.
Exactly, bro. So, in other words, serving the ego contributes to our counterproductivity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it does. And that's what we have to understand. We have to stop being self-destructive.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to first understand that this is what we're doing, you know? And this is why you have a lot of people saying, oh, racism don't exist no more. What about black people killing black people?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? This is why you
Mm-hmm.
this talking point, because whether we want to admit it or not, we do a lot of stupid shit to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not intentional, it's subliminal. We don't understand that we're being controlled. We don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And that's because we don't know what's controlling us. And it's the ego, man.
Yep.
And it's the ego, man. And the system, this oppressive system, was created to perpetuate all of those things that the ego creates.
Mm-hmm.
See, the ego produces materialism, racism, fascism. All of those things are, all of those isms are things of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
things of the egotistical mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create a whole system to keep these people down. Why would they do that? Because their egos tell them that they are better. They're supreme. They are supposed to rule.
Mm-hmm.
That's the direction that their ego tells them. This is why they created the system, to represent that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't see that.
No, we don't.
You see? And the more we perpetuate the shit on ourselves, then what could we say? Wow. What are we actually talking about then? When we
Mm-hmm.
talking about liberation,
Yeah.
if we're going to keep letting ourselves fall for
Mm-hmm.
these traps in our minds,
Mm-hmm.
what is it for black people to have all of this financial freedom, but no spiritual freedom?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, what is it a man gain the world and lose himself?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. So
Yep.
what if today we was to get our 40 acres in the mule? We was to get all of these businesses, and Black Wall Street is back again, and all of these things is on an up and up for black people. Guess what'll happen? The Louis store will be bought out. The Gucci store will be brought out.
Mm-hmm.
All of them Arab jewelers will be brought out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be selling our own Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be selling our own European clothing. All the oppression would do was just switch over into somebody else's hands.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So before we get all of the money and get all of the success, let's become free.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be at peace with one another.
Yeah.
Why we gotta get money to stop killing each other? That makes no sense.
Not whatsoever.
Why why do we have to be doing business with each other to not degrade each other?
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense. So
Yeah. I.
I definitely wanted to bring this, this topic, bro, because, it's not talked about much. And I think actually this is our real problem that we're faced with.
Yeah. Because I want to bring another scripture. I forgot what it falls in the Bible. But when it talks about that the righteous ones that's going to be on the narrow road, the unrighteous one is going to be brought out. Now, what we have to understand is if we want to do what's right, yeah, we're going to fall back a little bit because we're imperfect. I'm not talking about that fashion. I'm talking about, are we willing to be on that narrow road for the liberation of our people? I'm talking about spiritually. I'm talking about emotionally. I'm talking about culturally. And I'm talking about socially.
Exactly.
Are we willing to have those components, what I'm saying about liberation? Now, there are some people going like, well, you thinking that, yes, it does go together. Because we had that. The gold tip point of Brother Israel when he was talking a few hours ago on his hangout, that's what we had decades ago, my brother. So we do have examples. But we want to deal with the now. We want to deal with what's going on right now. And at the moment is hurting us for centuries. The moment is hurting us for decades, years, months, days, hours, you name it, it's hurting us. Instead of work on these components, what we have, and to understand we're not going to get everything of this generation, but at least we have something to fall back on. So when me and you go, that's okay. They gave us the blueprint because we already got the blueprint in the past, but we're not following it, brother, because they feel it is old. Well, it's got to do something right. The Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they did it right. Rosewood did it right. Weeksville, Brooklyn did it right. Yeah, I want you to go to my channel. I did something for Weeksville. They was one of the first cities in Brooklyn, Weeksville, my brother, that did for their own. They one of the few that created their own paper that was around the country. But people, I want you to check that out. Go to my channel. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So we have examples, but we're not following it because it's too old. It's outdated. Why are we still having these conversations? You know what I'm saying, brother?
Exactly.
Why are we still having these conversations? Because we don't want to follow what our ancestors had laid for us. Now, did white supremacy take them out? Yes. Because, I'm not going to bring that up. That's totally different, totally different conversation. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to stick to the conversation. But we do have examples. And we want to follow what's going on. Greed. We want to be egotistic. See, we want to act like the llama of white supremacy, and we don't even have a clue. Because that's what they're all about, greed. They're all about dominance. They're all about taking over no matter what it is. They're all about killing humanity of our people. They're all about going to churches, don't care when they preach the word of God, and killing us and slaughtering us in every aspect. Breaking up our family values, breaking up our family. And we still have the mindset. And we gotta break out this, like you said, we gotta break out this mental chain so we can liberate ourselves first. Then we see our own people that really needs it at the same light. Because we want to be, I have to understand one thing too, my brother. There's a bad light and there's a good light. No, let me change that. There's a dull light and there's a bright light. The dull light, you're not going to see all that much because you're only just going to see what it is in that area. You ain't going to see the broader, you ain't going to see the broader side of everything else because it's a dull light. The brighter light, you can see everything. You turn on that light of any room, you can see everything. We still part of that white supremacy dull light. And we don't have a clue. And we don't even have a damn clue how to get out of it. Like I said, we have examples, but we don't want to follow those examples because we want to follow the dull moment light instead of the brighter light of a liberation for us as a people to mobilize. That's the brighter light. But see, it's so bright. You know what I love about this light? It's so bright of knowledge. It's so bright of wisdom. It's so bright of liberation. It's so bright of social, consciousness, spiritual, everything you name it. That bright light is so beautiful. We can learn from it because we can put certain layers. We can take out certain layers of that light, and all of us of our existence could shine on that. Nah, but we don't want that light. We want the dull light because we want to stay in the box.
Right. We want to live for the moment. We want to live in one moment.
Yes. And that's the dull light. And that's what we at right now. We want to be in the dull light so much. So in case of anything that is new, that is refreshing, that avails to people. No, I ain't gonna do that. No. I don't need that light. No. I'm good where I'm at. No. And the dull light is a selfish light. Bright light is a given light because you don't care. You don't mind to walk down the street though. You got the brightness on you because you're very sure of yourself. You're very sure that no matter what you're going to give to that person, you know that person's happy because they did the hard work to transform themselves to see what you do. And that is a blessing. And because it ain't all about you, it's about them because it takes a hell of a person to understand what they do wrong and get out their ugliness and to transform yourself because they see you and they say, oh yeah, like DS1 could do it. I know I could do it. That's a blessing, brother. You look at that person, you get emotional like, man, they did the hard work. But you know what? We don't think like that, brother.
Yeah. We want the light work. Right.
Right. We want to take care of who we help. It ain't all about that, brother. I've been through shit. Trust and believe. I've been through shit. But I learned from others. That's why I am what I am right now. I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking what I've been through. Once upon a time, almost 5 years ago, I'm not going to get into it. I felt less than a person. But I know I need to get back that brighter light because I know what I'm made of. And look at me right now. I met Boss. I met you. I met True Royal Family. I met Truthfully Honest. I met our brother. Come on. Because I know my brighter light. I'm sure of it. And you're seeing it. And I see your light. That's the light I want to be a part. That we work as a family. We work as one accord. Everybody could get Everybody could be bright. I'm like, you go ahead. Sorry.
You're right, bro. And that's why I think Black Wall Street and how all those communities you named was built. It was built on that. Exactly
Mm-hmm.
what you was just building on, bro. Nobody looked down on nobody. Everybody
Mm-mm.
knew they roles and they played it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thought they was bigger than the cause. See, that's what we have to start living up under. Your cause. What is your cause?
Mm-hmm.
What you doing it for?
Mm-hmm.
You know? What you doing this for? And if and
Mm-hmm.
if you can't answer that question, then you shouldn't say you are part of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people like to knock that. They like the knock the gang culture. But
Mm-hmm.
see, the gang culture goes back into how the ancestors lived.
Yeah.
They lived about a cause. It was about, this is what we about.
Yeah.
We have a cause to upheld.
Mm-hmm.
So we not gonna act a certain way. Everybody talk
Mm-hmm.
about a code of conduct. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have a code of conduct because what we up under? What are you up under? What are you doing
Mm-hmm.
this for?
Mm-hmm.
So of course we're gonna have chaos because everybody doing everything around each other for different purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta understand that. But we don't see the benefit in one another, and that's why we don't have a cause. We don't all stand under one ideology, which is supposed to be Black power. But the ego always takes us off the course. It makes us show contradictory actions, and it's hard for a lot of people to remain on the course. It's hard for a lot of people because I understand we come from difficult situations. So when a person gets into an altercation with a person that's supposed to be dealing with, liberation and consciousness, but you get into a low level altercation, it's hard to remain calm because it's like, damn, I thought I'll be dealing with this shit in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm dealing with this shit here. So it's
Right.
like you want to go crazy.
Yeah.
But see, we have to understand that everybody's not on a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that's conscious, they only certain things.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of people are only aware of what the system is doing to society, but they're not aware of how the system affects their mind and how they react to people.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they don't understand that. Or they don't understand how something subliminal is controlling you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's something controlling your anger, it's something directing your anger. And we got to understand that that's your lower nature.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, fuck it. I remember Jadakiss said this line in one of his songs. He said, and if you really mean something, don't say fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
No, he said, and don't say fuck something if you don't mean it. So in other words, he's saying that don't say fuck something, because when you saying that, what you saying that is you don't care about its existence. You know, that was deep to me because a lot of people run around and say fuck it. Well, fuck it then.
Yeah.
And then you see a lot of people who live from that space, they're very violent.
Mhm.
Because it's like, fuck it. And we have to stop dealing with each other from that space.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because somebody may
Yeah.
disagree with you, or somebody may raise their voice or something like that. We can't take that approach. That's when the ego step in. Man, fuck that. That's what it's telling you in your mind. Yo, fuck that. Turn up. Turn up. Fuck that. That's your ego controlling you. You got to be able to suppress that and be like, nah. And I'm not saying not to defend yourself,
Mhm.
but be strategic in your defense.
Yeah.
We're very highly intelligent people. So we don't have to be so low level in our thinking when we upset and when we dealing with each other.
Exactly. I agree on that. And then go more on your point. Long as your form is tight and you know your form is all about serving our people, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Then it's
You don't have
justified.
to.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Then it's justified. You right, bro. Exactly. Then
See?
your anger is justified.
Yeah.
Then whatever you do is justified.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just a simple misunderstanding, that could be hashed out. We shouldn't take that fuck it approach, man. Because that fuck it approach leads to a lot of shit, man. And it
Yeah.
leads to the things that we say we don't want anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I say that this is the inner war that we all fight within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us grew up in hostile situations.
Mm-hmm.
So when you approached with disrespect, some people only know, you know what I'm saying? Turn up
Mm-hmm.
to the max,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Some people do, and some people don't understand the extent that it goes to. And if we start to understand how extreme it may get, then we need to stop dealing with each other from that space.
Mm-hmm.
Because when that ego kick in, man, some people can't control it, bro.
Nah, they can't.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's where you get the dude in the street that's gun ho, or the woman in the street that's gun ho,
Mm-hmm.
because all they know is that.
Yeah. And it's a straining process too, because it's
Exactly.
blocking. Because it's a straining process because everything that me and you have talked about, and even the people in the chat, and then it's destruction. You know what I mean? White supremacy has set up traps for us to be hostile, savage and stuff. They don't want us to be knowledge of self. They don't want us to be learning what's in Kemet, what's in Egypt, what us as a people have we paid away in the past. They don't want us. So they, like you said, they serve some subliminals, some traps that we know what's going on. It goes back with the dough like I was talking about a few minutes ago. When you're in that dough light, you cannot see those traps. When you're in the brighter light, when you offer yourself, when you involve yourself in the light, you can see that. You can see that. A lot of us is in that dough light. Because that dull light, there ain't nothing. You're not going to learn nothing from that dull light. Because no matter what happens, when that light gets dull and dull, it's gone. It's finished. But that bright light, it continues.
Exactly, bro.
That's what we got to reach at. That brighter light. We going to get, we imperfect, so we're going to fall back. It's all right. But that brighter light, though, that's a beautiful light. But we don't want to stay in that light because, you know, it's going to show us as savages, as falsified people, our falsified character. It brings about the ugliness outside of it. The ugliness will come out because that light is hitting it. Because you know when that light hits that ugliness gotta come out. And we don't want that. That's what we want to be in formulation of the dough light. Because it's not challenging. We don't want to be challenged, brother. We want to stand, we want to talk about these same viewpoints. We want to act on the same viewpoints. We don't want to be involved of things that could benefit us, that is new, that is refreshing, that is liberating. See, we could take things from the past and modelize where we at, and we could still do the same thing. But we don't want to do that because it's work. Now I don't want to deal with that. That means I can't short in this. I gotta go through the process. And we don't want to go through the process either, brother. We don't want to take steps, brother. We said we do, but if you real, you don't have to say it. Because when you take them steps, people will see the light. People will see your light. And you don't even have a clue. I give you case in point. I went to work. And it was this beautiful black woman. She said, baby, won't you smile? I know the world got you down. I know you don't feel respected. Put that smile on your face. Don't let them get you down. And I was so choked up, my brother. I had a teary eye because no black woman had to say like that for me for a long time. She ain't had to say nothing to me, but she did, because you know why? She see that little blinking light that I had, and she know I had potential that my light could grow.
That's big. Yep.
And when I told about I broke down. When I went to the back, I broke down of happy because this black woman loved me so much that she took the time and tell me that, brother. I ain't never seen her ever since, but if I ever see her, I would thank her because after that, brother, I'm good. My life shines. You know what I'm saying? The JT is back.
And see,
but I had, yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Finish up real quick.
No, you go. No, I'm finished.
But that's big because that took. See, it takes a person to let go of their ego to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't really hear that from our women. Just like women don't hear that from men.
For men either, right?
You know what I'm saying? And that's because our egos is in the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our egos is in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't see that that's what's controlling us. That's what's in control of our situations.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's in control of our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Go with mine. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like growing up, you know how we grew up. You was taught if you told a woman she was beautiful, you was a sucker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You was taught if you wanted to buy a woman something, you was a trick. Right?
Yep. Yes.
You see, those are all egotistical concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is why now you have, see, when I was young, girls will walk up to boys and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But as I started growing up, it changed because, you know, women started to say, let him come to you. You know, let him come to you. When it should be an attraction and y'all should come to each other. Y'all should attract to each other. It shouldn't be, you know, a barrier between y'all that keeps y'all separated. And that barrier is the ego. Because it's going to make a woman who may be extremely attracted to a guy that's been watching him for a while and she really likes him, keep her from walking up and saying, how you doing? Because in her mind is, oh, he better see me. He better talk to me. And you just missed your shot, lady. You just let a good man walk away from you. And it's the same thing with us. You know, a lot of us as men, we deal with our women full level. And you don't understand that you really have a jewel. That woman could really be something powerful and impactful in your life, but all you treating her is like a sex slave. So you don't never get to get the beauty within her. You don't never get the jewels. You don't never get to experience what a person really get to offer. And that's what's destroying our community from the inside. Because the ego is the barrier, man.
Yeah.
So you got anything you want to say, bro? Because I'm getting ready to close out.
All I can say is thanks again. And thanks for the I mean, I gotta thank the chat room. And I want to thank you, brother. Keep on bringing these timeless conversations, and always remember, wherever you bring up, it's necessary, because the only way that conversation never going to happen, we got to liberate ourselves, brother. That's the only way we're going to end these conversations. And so I urge people go to my channel, subscribe and like JT Blackness. I bring some good content. Support DH1, support DH1 channel. And then the ones who's in the chat, support their channels of each other and everything. All I can say, brother, let's build, let's liberate. We don't need no cameras. We don't need to be no radio. We be our own radio. Let's be our own TV. Let's be our own lens for our community. Because we know who control the airways. We know who control the TV, the image of that. Sad thing about it, some of our people is down with that too. So we got to be careful. Let's be our own lenses. That's all I'm saying. Our own voice, our own radio. Very important. And thanks again.
No doubt, bro. Salute to you, man. So, peace to the family. This is DS1 Ross. You have just tuned in to Sheep Stay Sleep Live. I'll be back later on, family. Y'all tune in. If y'all like this live stream, hit the like button. Y'all can share it. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit that bell. Don't forget, hit the bell for all future notifications. So, whenever I'm on live, y'all could get the notifications and y'all won't miss the show. I'll be back later, family. DS1 Ross, I'm your host. Thanks again. Peace.
Peace.